Hey family, hey family, hey family. It is your girl, Miss Michelle Allen Franklin. Yes, Miss Michelle DIY for Divine Intervention, boo, because you know there are no coincidences in this world. Only God's divine intervention and Mrs. Community Builder. Because you know your girl is going to give you the good information, boo. The things you need for your mind, your body, your spirit, and your emotions. Honey, y'all know all month long. What is it? It's Women's Month. What you say, girl? I said it's Women's Month. It's Women's History Month. And y'all know your girl likes to do something different. So what am I doing? Where you been, boo? You ain't been following your girl. What you been doing? I am talking to an amazing woman each and every day, women that have inspired and empowered me and that I know will inspire and empower you. And who do I have in the studio today but one of my favorite people, honey, on this side of heaven? One of my favorite people on this side of heaven. This is my sister cousin. She ain't my cousin, she my sister. But I'm a cousin just to be official. But this is my sister. This is my sister cousin, honey. We call her Poo Poo, but for the
that's right.
Just for y'all, Veronica Phelps. That's her name. But her name for real is Poo Poo.
That's exactly right. Don't change it.
Hey, boo, how you doing?
Baby, I am wonderful. How are you?
I feel amazing.
Good.
Y'all have this is my person, y'all. This is my person. Like, I think everybody has their person that they feel, that they had, especially when you were younger, that, that was your safe place. That's your haven. Mm-hmm. And this is my person. When I thought about, just my journey and everything that I've been through and everything that I was going through, just, younger, all the decisions and all the bad things. This chick was on the ride with me. She's right there with
good
me.
And bad. Yeah.
The good and the bad decisions, baby. Yeah. She was there. Look, the good, the bad, and the crazy. I call it that Romans 8:28 when I'm talking about that good, the bad, and the crazy working together. She was there for all the crazy.
Yes, all of it. Glad I wasn't called to testify.
But she was there for the good. And that is the part. That is the part. Boo, how you doing,
boo? I am absolutely wonderful, honey. I'm absolutely wonderful. I mean, hadn't been able to always say that here in the last few years, but I can honestly say that God is amazing, and He has brought me a mighty long way.
Yes,
I have no complaints.
I know that's
no
right.
No complaints at all, honey.
I know that's right. My family here in Texas, we have a really big family. It is 13 of them. Big Mama had 13 babies. The Supreme 13 is what they know.
Yes. They believed in procreating, okay?
Baby, that is an understatement. Yes. The Supreme 13. And, when we was little, Poo Poo's mama, my Aunt Addie. Baby, that was my favorite Aunt. That's my favorite, baby. Aunt Addie. I was going over Aunt Addie's when I came to Texas. To all my Be More fam, honey, when I came to Texas, I was going. Y'all thought I was coming to see my daddy. I was going over to my Aunt Addie's. I'm going over my Aunt Addie's. It's me and Poo Poo got to hang out. We got to catch up.
Those summers we were looking forward to, honey. We were ready for summer break to come.
Each and every summer, we wrote each other letters. It was just.
Yes. I was just thinking that. I was like, does she remember we actually used to put pen to paper and mail letters to each other? Like,
yes.
Wow.
I know y'all young people don't know nothing about that. Don't start. I'm just saying.
No, they don't know. They don't know. Yeah. They text.
Well, honey, I want to get started because I want, like I said, when I think of you, I think you were my first, my best friend. You were my sister. We were just glued to the hip. And when I think of our journey together and even the things, because I remember being, I'm an introvert and an extrovert for people that don't, might feel like I'm very extroverted all this.
Right, right, right.
When I was younger, that introvert really did come out, and I really did test this. Like I'm both, and so, and I
Yeah.
can, I can remember those times of being like very introverted. But I do feel like when I came to Texas, I didn't have that introvert in me. Just maybe that extrovert would come out.
She didn't come to Texas with you, okay? She must have stayed at the airport. She did her summer vacation in Maryland because she didn't come to Texas.
That introvert wasn't here. Baby, I was
No.
all of myself and all of my
Yes.
personality and all of the things. And I feel like it was a safe place for me to do that. And
Yeah.
mainly that was because of you. You
Oh,
know,
honey.
that was because of you. And I think, of course, I'm being very intentional, right, about my journey and we thinking about all of the things. And it was very much because of you. I think you allowed me to be who I was. And it wasn't any judgment and it wasn't any, but I could be as loud and as boisterous and all of the things.
I
And, and
I think
whatever else.
that's one of the beautiful things about that relationship, and why we really put that effort into talking and getting in trouble by long distance bills and writing each other, because I felt that sense of relief when you were around.
Yeah.
Because think about it, I was here in Texas where we had our other cousins, sister cousins like Shay and Nakisha or whoever, but there was just this sense of boldness and
Yeah.
protection that I
Hmm.
felt with you.
Hmm.
And when you were gone, I was more in my shell because, like
Wow.
you mentioned, um, for the longest, I thought I was an extrovert
Hmm.
until these last 5 years, and I'm realizing in counseling,
Yes.
I'm I'm not at all, or I'm a
Yeah.
mix. I
Yeah.
was an
Yeah, you're
extrovert
probably
because I
right.
had to, because of
Mhm.
the way we were raised. We were raised to be bold. If they
Yes.
say prayer, if they said hey, get up and do this speech or
Yes.
speak up, blah blah blah, you did it. You did it
Yes.
without question. You did.
Yeah.
Hey, you come over here. Hey, y'all, we're gonna do this. There wasn't this opportunity to say no, so I
No.
had to. It's like we
Mhm.
were on at all times. So
Yeah.
you gave me that sense of security. And I can remember you telling me, like, girl, like, that's why
You're
when you
amazing.
say that you were introvert and extrovert, that's why I'm like, well, the intro did not come, because
I left her I
when
left
my
that
cousin
airport a before.
Michelle came, baby,
Yes.
it was we was learning all the bad cheers that I couldn't say, cursing and
I did teach her how to cuss. I did.
yeah, teaching me, but you were teaching me how to speak up.
Protect yourself. Yes.
Yes,
Speak
yes.
up and
So,
protect yourself.
and I can remember whenever that summer ended and you would leave, I
Oh,
would be so
girl,
sad.
we're not gonna cry today. We are not
I
gonna
would,
cry today. Oh my
I would
goodness.
be
We are
so
not gonna cry
sad. And
today.
when you decided to move here, I was like, hell yeah, I get the best of both worlds. I have my village
Yes.
of cousins that I depend on here in Texas.
Yeah.
And then a missing link was Michelle.
Yeah.
You can't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I have a sister, but there was just age difference. And so I just felt like I could be as bold as I wanted to. And like you said, I felt protected because, yes, Lord, you've always acted like you were my mama and my bodyguard at the the same time. So I believe it. I feel it. I truly understand. Like,
Yeah.
I love you. I love you. I
I
really,
love
really
you.
do. Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And it's crazy how at this point we're realizing that we gave each other permission to live out loud and to
Yes,
be
that's
our
exactly right.
true authentic selves,
That's right.
because that's
That's right.
exactly what it was and how beautiful that is.
Mhm.
How
Mhm.
beautiful
It's a
that is.
beautiful thing. Ooh,
Okay, look, I'm like, I'm not gonna cry today.
it's too
Uh,
late. I got it. I got it. I shouldn't. I don't know why I put mascara on this morning.
that
It's
part,
just, yeah.
that part, trying to come up underneath these lights. Uh,
It don't. I should have just came on in my bonnet. It don't even matter. But go ahead.
So, you mentioned a little bit about these last 5 years, and my favorite auntie was the very first um, auntie to pass away, and that rocked our family. Um, and
Mm,
going through, what you are describing is just the stages of grief, because what happens is we fall back. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Not knowing how grief affects us or is going to affect us. In that, I talk about it all the time after Big Mama passed, because I didn't know,
Mm-hmm.
um, that it would affect me like that. But we do that.
Right.
We talk about, you got to go back to work. You got to take care of the
Yeah,
family. You
yeah,
got a husband.
yeah.
You have this and that. Life does not stop.
Stop.
And
Mm-mm.
you try to navigate, I call it, you're trying to come back and navigate life as if everything is the same, and it's
And
not.
it's not. It is
And it's
not.
not.
It
And
is
we don't
not.
acknowledge that, right? And you speak a little
Yeah.
bit about that. And
Yeah, that has been tough. I can honestly say that I'm on the upside of that and
yes,
nobody but God.
yes,
And I got so low. It started with Big Mama
yeah,
because she was such,
the foundation, honey.
yes, and that foundation started, it was cracking. Or
Yes,
I feel like, if I'm not being too dramatic, I feel like it broke. It
yes,
just, it fell. That
it did.
foundation fell.
It
And
did.
so then Mama passed, and that rocked me to my core
Hmm.
because I started to realize I didn't know who I was, because all my life has been about my family.
Yes,
And Big Mama was at the head of that. And
yes,
then my mama,
yes,
whether good or bad, even in her cantankerous moments,
yes,
my mama. And
yes,
everything was my family. What are we
yes,
doing for the family? What dinner we having? Let's family, the family. My
mhm,
family was my foundation. And
yeah.
so then when Mama passed, and our family went through turmoil.
Like most
Um,
family, we went through the trauma. It was
yeah,
trauma,
yeah,
very
major,
traumatic.
major. Um, it it broke me.
Yeah,
And I mean broke me to the point where I didn't know how to pray for myself.
Jesus.
I didn't have words to express.
Yeah.
I I I gained a lot of weight, which I
Mhm.
didn't understand how, because I felt like sometimes I wasn't eating,
Yeah.
but clearly I was. But and if you've known me, you know I've always been one that like to keep my house. It didn't have to be spotless, but like,
Mhm. Mhm.
but when you get to the point where things are just piling up,
Yeah.
and not necessarily trash, and I'm just being very transparent
Yeah.
here, right?
Yeah.
Um, like when we moved into the house we're in now,
Mhm.
March this month will be 3 years. If I'm completely honest, Thanksgiving before last, Fari's family, we at the last minute we realized what we were going to host.
Mhm.
In the corner of my living room, I still had a what looked like a move area. There was
Like
so
y'all
many
had just
boxes,
moved on. Mhm. Boxes.
right?
Boxes.
There were boxes.
Yeah.
And it was good that Fari came to me and said, babe, the plans changed. The family's already planning to come to Texas. Can we host them? It was good for me because I was like, oh, okay, great. Well, let me get this stuff cleaned up. Let me get this
Yes. It gave you a
moving.
purpose,
It
a
gave me
sense
a
of purpose.
purpose. It
Yes.
gave me a purpose because
Yes.
before I had been always living for my family.
Yes.
And so what I've been going through, this metamorphosis or rebirth of me, is trying to
Yeah.
find out what
Who you?
Veronica likes, who I
Yes.
am. Because
Yes.
Big Mama died, my mama died, and then my daughter, who is like my best broke little best friend,
Mhm.
then she moved out.
Right.
And I
Baby,
was
oh my
shook.
goodness. All
I
of
was
the
shook.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
to share that with some people don't get it because they're like, "Girl," I've had people to actually tell me that my relationship with my daughter wasn't healthy. But I'm like, those are coming from broken people who don't
Those
have
who
relationships with
don't
their
have a
mom
exactly, and that's what you're gonna
or their daughter, right? So
yes. Yes.
It's been a transformation for me. So I had
Mhm.
to I tried to just do it with prayer and
Yeah.
getting in my word, and I started to. I can't say that I was angry with God. I
Yeah.
can't say that. I've never been angry with him, but I started to have a lot of questions.
Sure.
How have you rooted me in service,
Yes. Yes.
giving,
Yes.
loving, having this community around me,
Yes.
and now it's gone.
Yeah.
And I think it all happened. We were in COVID, all these elements that was there that allowed
Yes.
this to happen. And I realized that I thought at first that the best thing for me to do was to just shut everything out, me to silence my mind and everything. But the
Mhm.
more I stayed in that quiet place, the worse it got for me.
Yes. Yes.
But I also, in that, realizing that all of that, you know, hustle and bustle and doing all this and being here and being there, saying no, never
Yeah.
saying no, I realized that no is a complete sentence. And I
Say
had
it again for somebody
to
in the back, baby.
no
Because setting
is a
boundaries is the
complete
word, baby.
sentence.
Setting boundaries.
Oh,
Yes.
those boundaries have been beautiful.
Yes.
What's crazy with that, Michelle, is that there have been people that have gotten offended by those boundaries.
Oh, yeah.
And I've tried to talk to people and tell them they weren't personal,
Mm-hmm.
but like me saying, yes, I'll go here, I'll go here. Oh, yeah, we'll come hang out, blah, blah, blah. That was never me. But I
Yes.
did it because I wanted to be there for my family or be there for my friends.
Pleasing spirit.
Oh,
The
you're
pleasing
having a birthday
spirit.
party at the club.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll come.
Yeah.
Oh, you're having this function at your house. Sure, I'll bring this, I'll bring that. Not that I don't love to do that stuff, but I was doing it too much. And I felt
Yeah.
obligated to say yes to everything. So I've had to
Yeah.
learn that boundaries are a good thing. I've
Boundaries.
realized that these boundaries I should have had since I
Mm-hmm.
was a kid,
Yes.
but I didn't.
No.
And I've learned, that it's you have to allow space for yourself to
Yes.
grow, right? And so all that, with therapy and and I had been against medication.
Sure.
That's
Sure.
if we honest, I had been against
Yeah.
medication, but honey, I have a good med now that
You
that
say
helps
it
that
works, honey. Did you
that
say
it,
they
it it
work?
works. Yes. So with
Yes.
that, with prayer,
Yes.
counseling, and realizing my triggers and
Yes.
what gets me anxious, because I had to realize that even after we'd have a family function, it would be
Mhm.
great and you're full and you're
Yeah.
happy that there was a function. I'd go home and I'd have to crash for a couple days
Yeah.
because I'm exhausted. Because
Yeah.
one of the things I realized that whenever we have a family function, I don't care how many text messages will go out to everybody saying this is what we're doing. The day of the function, my
Mhm.
phone was blowing up. And
Yeah.
I felt like I couldn't put my phone
It's
down because
overwhelming. It's
somebody's gonna
overwhelming.
need
Mhm.
me. But now, honey, my phone stays on do not disturb most times.
Yeah.
Um, Sometimes the battery dies and I'll be in the house. But
Yeah.
I had to realize it's okay to disconnect. So
That's
my
right.
mom
Yes.
passing shook me. I think to
Yeah.
also see this woman so strong
Mhm.
and to turn so vulnerable.
Yeah.
And she, how some people say they accept their illness or whatever's going on and they're able to go. If I'm honest, she
Yeah.
never came to the
Yeah.
acceptance of, okay, God, these are the cards that I've been dealt.
Mhm.
She was angry. And
Yeah.
so I took that on too, because the pastor had to tell me. I was questioning, did my mom let go of that anger at the end? Did she ask for forgiveness? Because I felt like being angry with God, that you, who are you to question him and who are you to be angry with him, right? And so I
Mhm.
was like, did she let go of that? And then in the counseling with my pastor, he finally said, why are you carrying that burden? That's
Yes.
not
That's
your
what
cross to bear.
we pick stuff up, baby. Yeah.
But I was like, I need
Mm-mm.
to know that I would like to think that she asked for forgiveness and that she is okay. And he's like, that's not your cross to bear. You need to focus on yourself now. Are
Yeah.
you gonna have those? Are you gonna be able to have that mindset if
Yeah.
if something happens? So it's been a process. It
That's
was
good.
tough.
Yeah.
It was tough, but it has been amazing. Also because it has allowed me to get to know me. In
Yeah.
47 Am I 47? We 47, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay, then, girl. Yeah. In 47 years, I
Yeah.
think I'm just
Yeah.
now getting to know who Veronica Lachey Pooh Phelps is. And it's been beautiful.
Yes.
It's been a learning experience that I encourage everybody to go through or enroll in
Yes.
before you have to.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Before something kicks you on your butt and you have to do it. I think it should be a voluntary enrollment to get to
Yeah.
know yourself. Make sure you're really doing things that serve you. And that
Yeah.
doesn't mean you're selfish. I
That's
had to
right.
learn that too.
That's
It's
right.
not selfish at all. So yeah, I
Not
could go on and on and on about that. But that has been it has been a it has been a hard and long road because like I
yeah.
said, it's been 5 years
Mm-hmm.
of getting up out of that. But I thank God for people like you that have allowed me to go through this process of shutting down and not talking to people. But then when we do talk, there's no ill will, there's
There's
no
no
ill
malice.
feeling.
There's no
You
malice
just,
there, baby. Yeah. There's
yeah,
not.
you
Yeah.
just
No.
allowed me to you just let me know, even in the midst when I wasn't talking. I can remember getting messages. I love you. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about you. I
Yeah.
miss you.
Yes.
Maybe I didn't respond, but they meant the world to me.
Yeah.
So, so yeah,
Girl,
yeah.
we not crying today. Listen, I could do that because I had gone through that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because that's where
Mm-hmm.
I was after Big Mama passed, and then,
Mm-hmm.
my stepfather
Yeah.
passed, and
Yeah.
my dad,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and that those two together
That was a lot.
sent me into the spiral,
That's
you
right.
know.
Right.
And so I think what happens is God in His amazing way, and
Mm-hmm.
just His timing, He allowed me to go through it so that I can have compassion for your
Mm-hmm.
journey. I didn't take it personal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And I
Because
appreciate that. I thank God for that.
yeah, I knew what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't me. You know what I mean? I
Right.
knew it's
Right.
not
Right.
because at first, what, and this is something to talk about, guys,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
people are grieving. It is not personal when they can't show up for you. They
No.
are trying to show up. You are
No.
drowning. You are in
Dr-
quicksand. You have to save yourself,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
especially, and you talked about boundaries. And I talk about this all the time. One, we didn't know what boundaries was.
No.
Like on
No.
the other side
Never.
of 40, I didn't know what a boundary
No.
was. What
No.
people
No.
we had,
You
what
felt
leaders
you
were givers.
the nerve, the audacity of
Yeah,
you to think of your put yourself
put
first.
yourself first.
Yeah.
And that is the ripple effect of showing up for everyone else and not showing up for yourself. That is the whole purpose why I made this. I have this podcast
Yeah.
while I have the
Mm-hmm.
self mastery. This is the whole purpose
Yeah. Yeah.
because because I call us the helper bees of the world.
Yes.
But we
Yes.
pour to the extent that it's the detriment of ourselves. And that is not why God, well, He didn't put us here to
No.
suffer. He didn't put us here.
No. No.
We are of service, but we have to fill our cups. We have
That's
to
right.
come back
That's right.
full. A Yellen Van Zandt says, honey, what's in the cup is mine. What comes out of the cup, okay, it's for everyone else.
But I think it's funny that you mentioned that because I know we talked about what is my, we kind of mentioned what would be my greatest lesson. And it's just one word, my overflow or overflow. If
Oh,
there's an overflow, you can have it.
yes.
But if there's no
Yes.
overflow, I don't have, no, sorry. Or sorry, not sorry. Like,
Right.
and that's part of those lessons is saying no and then not feeling the need to offer an
Explain.
explanation or
Yes. It's just,
no
I can't do
because
it. Yes.
no, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
And
it's
that's
funny you
okay.
mentioned that because that overflow.
Yes.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I said when I used to describe it when I first realized it, and it's so crazy because Marley literally just she does her art stuff,
Mm-hmm. Oh
and
yeah, her amazing art. Ugh.
she literally this I said, man, I'm gonna have to break this cycle. She formed a clay art. She formed clay
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The clay is a sculpture of hands all over you, just taking hands.
Oh
Your
wow.
her arms are out like this. It's but the inside is gutted out, and the hands are still.
Mm.
There's
That
nothing
is a
left.
true depiction. That is a true depiction.
Nothing
Yeah.
is left, and
Yeah.
her hands are out like this. And I was like,
That
"What's
is a true depiction
the name
of.
of this?" She said, "People pleaser
Oh,
is the name
come
of the
on, Riley. Are you serious?
14 years old."
But
And
it's a
Pooh,
blessing that she can identify what
yes,
that is.
yes. And Pooh, I thought, that is it's just when it started when we were younger, because
It
it's just
did.
like you said, you wanted to be the one that they chose. You wanted to be the
Right,
one to
right,
get up and
right.
do this. You wanted to be the one to do this, and you wanted to be. And so I feel like, and I'm saying this very purposely for someone who may be putting that unnecessary stressful pressure on your child,
Mm-hmm.
because it's
Yeah,
so subconscious that we don't even really realize that we do this.
right,
So
right.
I have to come back now, and I have to be very, babe, do you want to do this?
Mm-hmm.
No, or
Yes.
this is something that, whatever. Sometimes I really don't give her a choice. It depends.
It's all right.
Sometimes I'm
It's
like,
all
now
right.
look,
We
now I
have to
don't ask
have
you
an
too much.
even
But this is
balance.
what I need.
There has to be an even balance, right?
But 9 times out of 10, and it has to start, somewhere, and we have to be a little more conscious about, because it's a very subconscious thing. We don't realize that we're doing it. You don't realize but you're putting these unnecessary pressures on the
Right.
babies, and then you grow up, and then it gets to a place where you crumble, and we don't have to crumble in order to.
No, no, no. So what I'm instilling in Brandy, I was so happy when she at 26 now, she has a voice that sometimes I want to choke her, but I'm happy that she found her voice
Yes.
way before I did,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
said I refuse to allow you to grow up like that. And not saying our upbringing was bad, but we should
Right.
have
Right.
learned or been taught boundaries. We should have um, learned that it's okay to say no. We don't have to be the person for everything. And even with that, like Brandy has often asked, how did you become this person? Why you always got to send the family text messages out, or why you gotta
Right. Right. Yeah.
coordinate this? And I started thinking, and I
Because
was
your
like,
mama
yeah,
did it. Because your mom did
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I said, Brandy, I never asked. There was no election. There was
Right.
no,
Right.
no staff meeting. I said
Right.
it just kind of organically shifted to me. And
Yeah.
I said, and I've always held that with honor. So I've
It
never
was.
looked at it
It
as,
is. It is.
oh.
Yes.
And I
Right.
said, and when I was going through so much, and there were difference of opinions and things like that. I said, I never asked to be this person. I never
Right.
asked to be that go-to person.
Right.
But at the same time, it was a blessing.
Yeah.
That was one thing that my pastor and my therapist kept trying to get me to understand. Don't look at it like, because I was like, why me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do some people feel the way that they do
Mm-hmm.
with me having these responsibilities that I never even asked for?
Sure.
You would think that I just stepped up and tried to be, I'm trying to be everything, right?
Right.
You know how some people are like, oh, I'll do this, I'll do that. And you just
Yes.
like, girl,
Yes.
sit down.
Yes.
That was never it. It
I
just
know.
seemed like, hey, have y'all talked to Pooh about it? I'm not the oldest grandchild. I'm not the youngest
Baby.
grandchild. I'm not
Baby.
even right in the middle. But
No.
somehow that responsibility fell on me, and I held it or wore it with a badge of pride.
Yeah.
And when I'm thinking we should have passed it around. And over the years, there are several cousins and stuff that say, hey, we'll help. Let's form a committee, and that's fine. But there was a point that I felt, and I think part of that also is that I didn't want to let it go because
Yeah.
I've been doing it, and I feel, you know how you feel.
It's a
Well,
part of
I'm
who
gonna do
you
it.
feel like you are. It's
That's
how you
right.
showed up in the world.
That's right. Right.
That's how
Right.
you
And
showed up. So that's a part of your identity in your mind.
right. Right. But now, girl, I sit back. I'll be like, oh, okay. Y'all, what you need, baby? You want me to bring the paper towels? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Girl, bye. You ain't
Baby.
never bringing no paper towels. You bringing the
No, no.
greens.
But but I can honestly say that I'm okay with not
No,
being.
yeah.
Now I can say that me and Aaron, we were. I was laughing because when we just planned the last family reunion, right, and we all had responsibilities and everything was great. But then I still showed up with scissors and tape and Ziploc bags
It's
and
hard to turn off
foil,
who you are, baby. It's
gloves.
hard to turn off
Like nobody, we didn't say that, but me just thinking
in your
of
Virgo
things that
mind.
we need, of we needed like that. Like it's almost having a Girl Scout. Like she got
Virgo.
everything. So it's those boundaries
Yeah.
should have been established a long time ago.
But this is
And
the thing,
so
too. Think about it when you've done it for so long. That was because you knew the things that people have asked for. We needed scissors in the past. We needed bags at the time. We needed
and
this.
needed them that day. We
You,
needed
right.
Ziploc bags
We needed
for
Band-Aids.
everybody to take
All
food
them
home.
babies coming up. We got
Mm-hmm.
hundreds of
Yep.
somebody gonna
Yeah.
fall. Something gonna happen. And
Yep.
just in case it does, it
Yeah.
might be once every 2-3 years, but just in case,
Just in case we're
we
gonna
got
have it. We're gonna have it. Right,
we have
right. So,
it's hard to turn that off.
yeah, it is. It is. It is. But it's like I said, it's been a journey. And
Yes.
I'm glad that we're getting back to that because at the root of that is our family. And I
Yes.
miss my family.
Yes.
I don't care how, messed up anybody's family is. Get together on those days, leave
Yes.
your troubles on the street or
Yeah.
at the door and get
Yeah.
in there and fellowship because what I don't want or what I hate is that all the family functions we used to have, like we would celebrate St. Patrick's Day
Everything,
or,
baby.
everything, right?
Everything.
But
Big
we
and
shouldn't just get together for a funeral.
right.
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And then when you at those functions, you're saying, all right, we're gonna get together, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. And
And
then the next thing you know, you
it's
don't see
another
each other
funeral.
until another funeral.
Right.
Right. So this has been a process, but it's a good process. And
Yeah.
I'm happy. I thank God that I've had people like you um along the way that have helped with that have taught me those lessons along the way to don't be afraid to speak up and tell people what I needed. You
Yeah.
know, I can remember you was kind of a little bully, but you were a good bully. Because you be like, speak up, say such and such, So it was like, all right, well, dang, okay, I will. But it was a blessing. So yeah. Anyway, that's another session. We'll have that in another.
Girl, wait a minute. When I talk about my mom and I talk about finding my voice, right?
Mhm.
I realized that my voice was a blessing, was one
Mm.
of was like is my gift.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I kept hearing when I was putting this together and as I was going through my own healing journey, I kept hearing my mom say, I prayed that you would be the opposite of me, that you would speak up for yourself.
Mm.
And when I realized, I was like, oh my goodness, my voice is my gift.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
one of them anyway, but my voice,
Right. Right.
yeah. And so, and we would jokingly say when I was little, I kept hearing this jokingly say the first time she heard me cussing, she was like, I know God answers prayers because
Hey,
ain't
are we
nobody
sure we
running
want to put God in this? We sure we want to put God in this? Like,
listen, I didn't say the prayer,
that was her
but I'm
prayer.
just saying.
That was her prayer. You know.
But you know what? The other part of it was that I know that I have this protection energy in
Mhm.
me
Mhm.
that even in times where I don't even feel like, because I went back, like it was times where I felt like I didn't protect myself all the
Right.
time, but I
Right. But you
protected the people
protected
that I
everybody
love.
else.
Let me tell you something. I wish you would.
Yeah.
I wish you would.
I'm thinking about a
That's a
situation
whole
right now
other.
down at the school. But yeah.
We got to tell this story. We got to tell this story real quick. So listen. I had just moved to Texas. I was 6. We were
Mm-hmm.
16. And
Mm-hmm.
Pooh was my person. Like I said, Pooh was my person, honey. And shout out to the Chapel Hillians in the world.
Yeah.
Amen. The Chapel Hillians. I went to the
Bulldog.
girls' school in White House. But Chapel Hill was my second home, baby. That
That's
that probably
right.
was my first for real.
That's right. For
I
real, for
feel like I
real.
stayed over there like way more.
Yeah. It seemed like you was a student there.
I was class of 96, even though I was in 95. I was rolling with the class of 96. Shout out class of 96. I was with y'all, baby. We was over there to all the
Yes,
football
baby.
games, all the things. And so we at the football game, right? At Chapel Hill, we at the football game. And this one always had a boyfriend. She kept a boyfriend. She always had a boyfriend. I'm just saying. So, but we 16,
I
it's
had
okay. Look,
friends.
it's
I
okay.
had gentlemen callers.
What you call it?
Gentlemen callers, okay?
Not callers, because that sounds
Yeah, that do
illegal.
sound bad. No, I had friends. We was yeah, I had friends. Okay, go ahead.
At any rate, and listen, at any rate, we at the football game, and I don't know what happened, but somebody came up to me. This one right here came up to me crying about something some little boy had said to her.
I think
Honey,
he had called me out my name and got in my face if I recall.
what'd he do that for? What'd he do that for? Because your girl was like, where he at? What? Before
Knocking people
I
over.
knew it.
You
Before
look like
it.
what's her name? You told Hoppo to beat me. What is going through the
Hey
crowd
man,
trying
I
to
was
get to
I was
them?
marching. I marched across that field. All I saw was tears. I can't even really tell you everything that the baby said. I
No,
don't even know what you
no. I don't even think I got to finish. I just started crying because you was like, "What happened? Who did what?" And I remember trying to tell you, and then off you went. I was like,
well, don't do it.
like,
Don't do it.
yeah, yeah,
Don't do
yeah,
it. Slicing the
yeah,
dice and pray for you later. That was the mindset,
baby.
baby.
Okay, that's right. Hey, thy rod and thy staff. Yeah, that's
And
how you were
I
protected.
remember coming up in his face, and I just remember him being up here.
Yeah, yeah.
Cause she liked to
You
talk. She always liked to talk.
always well used to. My love right now don't need all that hype, baby. Go out.
So back in the day, she was with the
And
tall.
back in the day.
So it was a circle of tall ones like that. I marched right in the middle of them. That was
Like she was the biggest one out there.
Maybe you couldn't tell me I wasn't a giant. Don't mess with mine, honey. Don't mess with them. What is happening?
I don't think I had any other problems. Mm-mm.
No,
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 from
what you
anybody. They knew her cousin Michelle
from
that
Baltimore,
act like she already went to the school and was there all the time, which would pull up on them. Yeah,
baby, baby, that is hilarious. I
that's what
love
I'm
it.
talking about. That fence of protection, those arms of protection had them, baby. What?
We not playing.
But I still feel like that today.
Yes,
I'm sure if I called you or
baby.
any of Nika, Shay, Keisha,
We coming. We coming.
baby,
We gonna pray up.
guns blazing.
We gonna pray up the house. Baby.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna pray for you later, but we about to get this now. You know.
We
So
coming. Baby.
it's a blessing to have that connection because even though I have an older sister, it's just different. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Yes,
Um,
it's different. It's
Yeah,
different.
she was older, but we were all right there together. We were going through
Yes,
some of the same things. And even
yes.
if we weren't, if I had, I can remember asking, real personal questions about stuff because I was just, my
Yeah.
mom was like, don't ask, I kill you. Oh, okay, then cool. I won't ask. Fine, I won't ask. So I had that outlet, that
Yeah.
connection to where I could ask even some of those, all of those questions,
Yeah.
and you were going to tell me the real.
Yes.
And you were also but you were gonna also tell me if you felt like I should do it or didn't. Even
Yes.
if it was something you had done,
Mm-hmm.
you would say, "Now this is what I did, or
Yes.
this maybe been what I've been through,
Yes. I don't want you.
but I don't want you to do it."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I tell my journey of being pregnant at 14 because
Mm-hmm.
It is, I think it's empowering, because it's something that I had buried so deep, and it carried shame, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Guilt at a period
Right.
of time. And so, but now I'm like, I was a child, honey. I just made a mistake. I had a crush on a beautiful specimen of a little
Yes.
boy.
Yes. Yes.
Beautiful specimen of a little boy.
And things happened,
And,
but
and
through
yeah,
that you learn something.
but I do remember coming down that following summer,
Mm-hmm.
and you were, all, like, I think I'm gonna do it and this and that. And I was like, hey, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Ain't all
Yeah.
it's cracked up to be.
You really
This
did. You
ain't
really,
gonna,
really did.
and I
Yeah.
and I remember that, protection and just being scared. And I knew that I couldn't, stop you from doing it. But let me just tell you what my experience was.
Right. Right.
And I don't want this to happen to you, because this wasn't good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. It ain't all this cracked up to be. I remember
Yeah,
those conversations,
yeah,
and I've held on to them my whole life. And even when I've tried to give other people advice, I go to that. Like how you handled me with care, but
yeah,
pure honesty.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
it's amazing. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Thank God for
So,
Jesus.
um, I know you got a movie to go to, so I'm gonna try to
You
wrap
good. You
it up.
good. You
Okay.
good. Keep going. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to get into one thing that is just amazing is that everybody know I talk about my journey of being married and getting a divorce. And for me, I was like, I am never doing that love stuff again. Like, this is not happening. And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm always but I'm always so just amazed, and I'm looking forward, and I'm looking at stories like, oh my God, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. Like, I'm
Right.
feeling all of the things, because deeply inside, I realized that was just fear. It wasn't that I didn't want
Right.
to get married. It was fear
Mm-hmm.
driving my life at that period of time. And so I remember, watching your story with your husband now, because again, we were going through life together,
Yes, Lord.
all the
Yes.
breakups and all the
Yes.
breaks and all of the things. And it was like her husband came up, had the nerve. He had the nerve, no.
The audacity. Okay.
Capacity.
Or as the word Big Mama used to use to describe him, he had the gumption.
The gum,
Okay.
the gum,
Yes. Big Mama used to say, I like him. He got some gumption about himself. Oh, okay, Big
baby.
Mama. Yeah.
This man came over to our big mama's house, honey, one random day, and he asked
Christmas.
for
The
Pooh.
year the year she passed.
I did not realize that, Pooh.
That was the year she passed.
But it had to be, because I had came. Yes, okay,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
And so, but he came over. They had been together in the past, that broke up, and I guess he had got himself together, honey. He was coming back for his woman, and he came over
Mm-hmm.
to the house
Mm-hmm.
and asked for her, and we was like,
Oh, I remember saying, "Oh, if I ever see him again, oh girl, I'm gonna say blah blah blah." You preparing,
yes,
and
yes.
then when y'all came to that door, it's like you need to come outside. I remember standing in that front room of Big Mama house, and y'all out on the porch like,
Yeah, because I
"You
was
need to
outside.
come
I
outside."
watched him
Yeah,
walk up. I watched him park the
yeah,
car, and
yeah.
I watched him walk up, and I was like, who is this man coming up? Because the other thing was
All
that Maurice
fine.
was different from the last time I saw him. We were young.
Yes,
And so he
yes,
go bigger when we were younger and everything. And now he's like boom, 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 boom.
yeah.
You
Tight
know,
little medium t-shirt
chocolate
on and stuff, looking
mediums.
like a milk dud girl. Ooh.
He came up
I
and,
was like,
oh my goodness. Okay.
hey,
You know how
hey, how are
everybody
you?
like this, like what they said.
It was crazy because he said, he's like, how are you? And I'm like, great. I remember I couldn't stop smiling. I remember I had the biggest headache later because I smiled so much.
Yes.
And he was just like, I felt like I wanted to see how he's doing. I had just came off the highway, and he said, all these years I've owed you an apology, and I didn't come over here with um, any purpose other than to apologize. He said, I feel like if I can serve warrants and kick down doors, then the least I can do is have um, enough bravery, basically, to come and apologize. And I was like,
Say what? Say who?
to little
Look, now it's I was gonna say this and that. Now it's
yeah, and the rest was history. And it hasn't been, you know, um, it hadn't been all great because we did even after that we went through another cooling off period, but that was after the attack at the on the officers downtown, and half of the city. It was crazy because the night before that shooting, when those officers got killed, we
mm,
had this conversation just random, and he was saying, if I'm killed in the line of duty, I don't
Jesus.
want all that pomp and circumstance, right? You
Yeah,
just, I don't
yeah.
want nobody, I don't want no, at all on the news and all that. I just want a service and let me be done. And I was like, I don't want to talk about it. I was like, why are you bringing this up? And then the next day, this shooting happens, and I'm trying to get him, and I
Wow.
couldn't get him.
Ooh,
And so once we realized he was okay, everybody started to try to get over the initial shock. And one of the officers he had just worked out with the day or the day before at the gym. They had worked out together, and
remember that?
he
Yeah,
was just angry
yeah,
because he had been in a situation where the cops, they were somewhere in the people at the restaurant, I think it was, had asked them to leave. I'm like, why? We're in here eating. Well, if you it just in case somebody else wants to attack, basically, the patrons would be, a casualty.
yeah.
And so could you guys leave?
Wow. And
And
this
so
was
he's like,
the height of the George Floyd. Was
well,
that
this
George?
was even before that. This was
Oh,
even before George Floyd. He was just like, we got half of the city love us.
that it was so. But it was all of that. Like black people were
Right. And even,
killed, and it was a.
right. And even with that, he had to get to the point where he couldn't wear his uniform out. He
Mhm.
couldn't, like, he has this whole method or process now. When he's leaving for work, he has nothing on that's police, that identifies him as a police officer. And
Yeah,
he goes to work, does his thing, and before he leaves, he changes. Even if he working at night,
yeah,
before he leaves, he changes into street clothes
yeah.
and comes back, because he's just like, you never know who just wants to target a police officer. But
Wow.
through that, we've had to learn each other. I'm glad. I thank God that He didn't allow us to be together years ago when we met in high school.
Mhm.
Um, we probably would have been divorced already.
Sure.
No, not probably. We would have. And
Yeah.
I can
Just.
remember when we broke up in high school, I felt like he was arrogant,
Mhm.
and he still has a level of arrogance. But we both had to grow. We both had to mature. And if we didn't, I wouldn't have my amazing daughter, Brandy, and I wouldn't have my amazing bonus son, Mason,
Yeah.
from his marriage. And so God allowed things to happen. And I even say that, tying back to my mom, because I don't know if you recall, his dad was diagnosed with cancer shortly after mom was.
Yes, I do.
And so then his dad died 17 days after mama died.
Yeah.
And so um,
And y'all were
that
able to
man,
grieve and process together.
well, with him, where I'm super emotional, he was just like, people process different, right?
Exactly.
And so he was like, okay, this is the circle of life. My dad lived an amazing life. He taught me this, he taught me that. He cried once when his dad passed, and that was when we went to California to pick up his belongings.
Yeah. It
But
was like
after that,
real.
yeah,
Mhm.
after that, he's been like, okay. But but if I hadn't have had him,
Yeah.
um, I probably would have been a mess, because he gave me that space to be to myself. He didn't pressure me. Like I said, he prayed for me when I just didn't have the words.
Yes.
He would constantly, like, even if I get worked up and say, "Oh, I need to straighten this up. I need to clean this up. I need to fold these clothes," he'd say, "Oh, no, you don't. Everything is fine." Mind you, coming from somebody that's very OCD. Okay,
Yeah.
he was telling me it's
Yeah.
okay. So the love that we have,
Love.
has
Mm,
been beautiful. I
priceless.
couldn't imagine any man loving me anymore.
Yeah.
He is, he gives me that space and that encouragement to speak up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
He
I
even
don't play about
he
this, but this man don't play
yeah,
about.
he don't play about me. And he's even like, you wanna give him my phone number? No, sweetheart.
He had the
No,
words
not
like
at all.
words.
Yeah, he got plenty of worries. So he
Yes.
has been amazing. God allowed us to be together, I, I believe, when he knew I would need it most.
Yes.
And
That's
so I have relied on him tremendously, to
mm-hmm.
where even though he works my nerves sometimes, I can honestly say we don't like even being apart often. We
Yeah.
do most of everything together. And I never thought I'd be that person. When you sit back and you're not married and you looking at people, you be like, oh, girl, y'all doing too much. Y'all need your space. Now, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I
Space,
do want my space sometimes,
of
but I
course.
don't want too much space. Like,
Of
you
course.
know,
Of course.
so he is very, he puts me first,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
He doesn't require all the things that we were raised to do, right? And not saying anything's wrong with this, but all those things that I thought I would, fixing his plate and washing his dishes and washing his laundry. He's like, my mom and my grandmother raised me to do that. I'm good. My job is to provide for you
Come on now.
and to protect you,
Yeah.
um, and
You're not
encourage you. Yeah.
right.
And so he does that tenfold, and that is what, that was his support and reassurance and
Yes.
encouragement is one of the things that helped me even change my job.
Yeah.
So he has been amazing. He has been a love that I never knew I could have,
Yes.
and I am thankful for him every day, even when I don't want to be thankful for him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
I
Yes.
love him, but there are days you don't like each
Of
other,
course. Of
right?
course.
But he's been a beautiful surprise.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's beautiful, Paul.
yeah.
That's beautiful.
He's
Uh,
been a beautiful surprise.
it's a gift. It's a gift when you can find that type of love. I heard Michelle Obama say, when you said that, I heard Michelle Obama say, I didn't like Barack for the first 12 years after we had kids.
Right.
I
Yeah,
didn't
baby.
like him. I
Yeah.
loved him, but I
Hmm.
didn't like
I
him.
love him, baby. I don't like you sometimes.
Some days.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you spoke on a lot because it is this thing of, in your mind before you get there, it is, I have to do this and I have to be this. And we are trained that way of what it's supposed to look like. But I love the fact of finding your journey to each other, and then the way that you connect in the respect and love for one another. When
Yeah.
you have love and respect for one another on both sides, you
Hmm.
understand that it's not 50-50. Sometimes
No.
it's 80-20.
That's
Sometimes
right. That's
it's
right. That's
30.
exactly right.
What needs to be done is going to be done. And that is what love looks like
That's
that
right. That's
genuine
right.
true love. It's not that fairy tale
I
thing that people
totally
talk,
agree.
right? It's
Yeah,
not
he has.
that
There have
tale.
been days that, you know, I barely had 5% to give. And then there have been days that I had 99 and
Surely.
he had one. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
But it was okay.
Yeah.
And it's been, anybody who has this belief that marriage, and we're only 5 years in, right? October will be 6 years. Marriage is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You can get up and you can decide to leave every day. Because there have been days I've been mad, honey, and I'm like, I'm packing my stuff. I'm about to find me an apartment. He doesn't get rattled. He just be like, all right, okay. And I be serious,
I do, yeah.
And because
He
I'm like,
probably
I
be
don't have
like,
to
it's
take
fine,
this.
right there in that apartment with you.
Right, right. I'm like, I don't have to
Wherever
take
you
this.
want to go.
I took care of myself before you. I'm gonna take care of, and he just be like, and I'm like, do you hear me? He said some things don't deserve a response, babe. And to be honest with you, there have been a couple times that he said, because I messed around and was like, something, something, sucker. And he said, he just looked at me and he said, Miss Addie, can you get out of my wife right now?
Not your mama, you done pulled your
Now,
mama.
my mama,
I'm gonna
he
get up
said,
out of there.
Miss
Because you know
Addie,
at a Dean, baby,
could
she's
you
gonna say
please get out of
stuff.
my wife right now? And I was like, okay. You know, so
I love
it's been beautiful.
I
I like I
love it.
said, it was a blessing that we didn't even try after, you know, that it just didn't work then. We wouldn't have the respect, the love, the support,
Yeah.
the just the connection. We There are times and I'm like, because he tries to fix everything even before it's broken.
Yeah.
He tries to be involved. And for the longest, it's something also I had to learn. I had looked at it as you're trying to run me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a I'm an independent woman, right? Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have a voice, I have a
Yes.
mind, I have
Yeah.
a job, blah blah blah. And he's like, you spent your life doing those things because you had to.
That's
You
right.
were you were independent by choice.
Yes. Yes. But you don't have to do
I
that.
mean, you were independent because you had to, right?
Right.
He's like,
Right.
you
Right.
don't have to anymore. You don't have to make this decision. And I got so lax for a minute, Michelle, that um I'll be like, is the electric bill paid? Like,
Right. Yeah.
because I was so like a spreadsheet.
Oh yeah, honey.
Um,
Oh yeah.
he
Ooh,
was, I'll be
you
like,
always you were very organized. Always had
or
it all together. Yes.
I had lost it, but
Yeah. And that
he
grief
did every,
thing.
and even now in things that I said that didn't matter before, and I'm not even bragging, but these are little things that remind me of our uncles, of
Mm-hmm.
men like your dad,
Yes.
putting gas in my car.
Yeah.
I don't even know,
Yeah.
swear to you, swear to you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what type of gas goes in my car right now. I'm pretty sure I could probably use unleaded, but I got a newer car in November. It may require what's that
The
high
next one
one?
up. Look, the next one up. Hi, don't
Yeah,
give
whatever it is
me
because
the name,
it's a
but the next
turbo engine.
one.
But I have never put gas. I can't tell you the last time I put gas in my car. And the
Mhm.
one time I tried to get mad and put gas in my car a year before last, the man at the pump was like, he walked over and helped me. He said, "You don't normally do this, do you?" I was like, "No, sir."
Back
He
up. She got
said,
mad, baby, and tried to
"Yeah,
do
I
it.
was mad." I
Bless
was
your
like,
heart.
"I'm gonna show
You don't
you."
tear that engine up with all that
Mhm.
anger.
Because I normally work from home, right? And so I ended up running a few more errands, and I'm like, he's like, "Babe, you have enough gas until till tomorrow. Just when you finish running your errands, park your car. I'll take care of your car." Well, I'm like, I don't want to wait. What if plans change? Then when I get up and start going, I'm gonna need more gas. I put gas in my own car, so I said I'm gonna put gas in my car on my way home.
Yes.
And that man was like, "Your husband know me to do this?" And I was like, "Yes, sir." He
And
said he out of
that was
town.
one of your guardian angels the Lord sent, right? Go help that
Yeah,
lady.
it really was.
Go,
He's
go
like,
help
he's out
her.
of town. I was like, "No, sir." He swear to you, he said, "You mad?" I was like, "Yes, sir." He just giggled. He was an older gentleman, so sweet. He said,
I love it.
"I'm filling up my wife's car now. Don't do this anymore." I was like, "I won't." And so then later on,
I
the mind
love
you, this
it.
man came and saved me. Then later on, the next day, he's like, "All right, babe, it's early, like 6 in the morning." He's like, "I'm about to get up and go take your car, wash it, and put gas in it." I was like, "Oh, it's already got gas." He's like, "You put gas in your own car?" I was like, "Sure did." "Why? Why you put gas in your car?" I was like, "Because they needed it." And he was like,
Crazy.
"Did you know where the gas went?" I was like, "Yeah, I ain't crazy. I know where I know where the gas goes." He goes, "What kind did you put in?" "We'll know when my car started running for me." But it's just even those little things. And he's told me a
Yeah.
couple times, he's like, "You're spoiled. You're spoiled." But I look back at the things that I've seen the men in our family and our uncles do, and nobody's perfect, right? But
Right.
I've seen, and even my father, because I can remember my father died at 9, but my mom, as hard as she was,
Yeah.
she could be a soft girl.
Yeah.
when she was with my dad.
Yeah.
And I have caught myself in those situations complete where I used to, even when we go somewhere, my mind is immediately thinking about not having my back to the door, the exits, people
Yes.
looking funny. I'll be oblivious sometimes now.
Because you're safe, honey. Because you're safe. And
And
this
where
is
I used to wake up all the time, or I mean, where I wouldn't
sleep.
sleep, my sleep is so much better.
Yeah.
There'd be a storm. I don't know, nothing going on. The dog climb up on my side of the bed sometime, and he'll say, "Did you feel Jade on top of you last night?" Mm-mm. Child,
Safe. That's
yeah,
safety.
I'm safe.
Safe.
So I thank God for him. It's
Mm,
been it's been a road, but it's a road we choose to get out and walk together every single day. And I just anybody that is close to it or in it or thinking about it,
yeah.
whatever stage you're in, it's possible. I think
Yes.
people tend to they don't respect the sanctity of marriage nowadays. And
Yes.
we think that it's not possible because of all that we see and all the failed marriages that we've been exposed to or been in ourselves, right? We
Right.
kind of give up,
Right.
but it's possible.
Yes.
It's possible.
People, I always say, and I know this because I have example in front of me, and I'm like, and I have podcasts where I have said this a lot. Where I've said, I'm like, with my husband, I'm not doing nothing else with my car because I know that it's possible. Just like you said, from the men that I know in my family, mine's is coming.
It's coming, girl. And when you get it,
Listen, and my girlfriend
it's
said,
yours.
"Michelle, do you just want somebody because you don't want to do things?" Yeah, no.
Yeah. And I didn't get that at first.
But
But you're right. I don't.
it's not
I
it's
don't.
not that I don't want. It's just that, like you said, I don't have to.
I don't
You know
have
what I
to.
mean? I'm waiting for the phase of the I don't have to do this.
That's right.
And I
That's right.
remember saying to you, Pooh, let that man love you.
And he is.
I said,
You,
let that
even
man love
Shay.
you.
Shay was, I kept telling Shay that we were running into issues. I'm like, we get, even after being married, I'm like, I got my purse and I'm like, I got my wallet out quicker. And he's like,
What are you doing?
so Shay said, girl, your hand should be stuck like this at all times. She said, she
Yes.
said, and honey, I said, that's how I sit there. I don't flinch. Sometimes I don't even carry my purse unless we need snacks
Right.
or something. I don't.
That's right. I mean, and fellas, don't get it twisted because we are the type of women that, we're gonna do for our man and we are pouring and it is, an exchange. But there
Oh,
is women,
definitely.
there are spaces where you can be and allow this man to love
To
you,
be a man.
allow this man to be a man.
That's right. That's right.
Right? Like,
Yep.
it's so many women that don't even know what that looks like or know what that feels like, and you're so uncomfortable, but
Hmm.
honey, stop
And I
it.
can admit, I was at a phase where I probably was about to mess that up because him being this man that I
Yes,
knew was possible from the examples we have.
yes,
But I'm like, that comes with you trying to tell me what to do. And it wasn't that, it was his guidance. He is supposed to be the head of my household.
yes, the head of the
But I
house.
didn't get, we quick to say that's what we want. But you
Yeah,
need to prepare yourself for that. What
yeah,
what's this ideal of head of my house that you have?
yeah,
And like you said, there is definitely exchange. He only requires, I think I do I help with his meal prep and I the all the little things that he require, which doesn't seem like much, but whatever those things are, I do them
with
willingly, joyfully,
yes,
lovingly,
yes,
and he just I reap the benefit of it, and it's an even. I can't even, Michelle. I'll be lying to you if I told you it was even an even exchange, because there are times that I feel like, babe, don't you want me to do this? And he's like, no, I got it, baby. You relax. Who said you had to get out of bed today? I'm like, but there are times that I want to lay in a little early, and then he just came in there talking to me, and then I just don't get up. But but yes, it has been a beautiful surprise. It's possible.
I love it.
We have to constantly work on it. We have to put in that effort
Yeah.
every single day to show up.
I'm gonna speak on this last little thing and I'm gonna let you go. But
Okay.
in the intentionality I feel that you guys have about spending your time together.
Mm-hmm.
because I interviewed a president of a hospital, Shelley Stein, and
Mm-hmm.
he said, my wife is on my schedule. My wife, I'm intentional about the time that I spend with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
love that y'all have y'all
You
date night
have to be.
and y'all have you're very intentional. That's one of the things that I notice and I love about y'all as well, is that
Oh,
y'all
thank
are
you.
intentional about your time
Oh
together.
yeah, yeah. We don't play about that. Even if we're at home, we love a good crime show, a good action movie, or
Yes.
whatever. We're doing it together. We put our phones down,
Yes.
and we are focused on that. When we go out, we put a good little, even if we just riding around and he's really into his car stuff, right? I don't know half of the stuff. And I will say this too, ladies, there's a lot of stuff that we don't like.
Mm-hmm.
But if he likes to do it, let him. I
Yes.
could have a man that loves strip clubs, and he could be a man that even wanted to sit at home and play his video games. I wouldn't have a problem with that either. But he wants to be home and with his wife. And when he's not home or work or the gym,
Mm-hmm.
then it's something with the car. And whether he's out in the driveway in the garage with all this car stuff, or he
Mm-hmm.
goes to his buddy's shop, I let him be
Right. Give them
that
that space
person.
and that time.
That's right. And
Yeah.
there are times that he's like, "Babe, can you just ride with me to look at these parts?" And there actually been times that I'm texting your brother
Mm-hmm.
that Faris just talking about stuff that sounds like
Fine language.
gibberish, and
Right.
I'm texting Tony, and I'm like, "This how dedicated of a woman I am." Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
I
And
don't know it,
Tony's
but I know
laughing.
somebody that
But
does.
and
Hang
Tony
on.
and Tony's responding like, "Oh yeah, this is such and such, this such a," and I'm like, "Nerds, y'all are nerds, you know."
Nurse.
But
Our nurse.
because these are things that he likes, or if I've signed up to a couple car information boards. So if there's going to be some type of car show, there's a monthly catch up, a monthly meet called Cars and Coffee. I
Yes.
got him to where he goes to that often. Like, I encourage him to do those things that he likes, or even if he just wants me to sit in the car,
Yeah.
fine, I'll go, even if I'm bored out of my mind,
Yeah.
because that's that part of support, or that give and take. It's not always going to be things that I like,
Right.
but
That
he
is
loves it. And
ma-
especially if he wants me there,
yeah.
you know. So
Yeah.
I grin and bear it. I do it.
But that is it is what love look like. Again, it's
Yeah,
outside of fairy tale love and
yeah,
what love looks like.
yeah.
And I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you for today. I said I was asking everyone,
Hmm.
one thing. You got to give us another because you jumped ahead of the question, and it's
I
the
know, right? But it was just right there.
and so I need another lesson, honey, that you have learned in this life on your journey. What is this another lesson that you've learned along the way that you can share with another woman, another
Um,
person
there's
coming
two
through?
things.
Okay.
One, it's okay to start over
That's so good.
with anything.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying get divorced, but if you need to reevaluate your marriage and y'all start over, start dating each other again, start getting to know each other again, do
Yes.
that. You
Yes.
start knowing yourself. You know how a lot of people are afraid to go to the movies by themselves, go to a dinner by themselves. I have never done that until this year. I've started doing it for myself. And
Yeah.
I told Fari, if you want to come along, there are going to be some things that I'm going to start doing
Yeah.
that I've thought about,
Mm.
right? And if you go, you go. And like if there's a concert, I mean a comedy show coming up, I bought 2 tickets. If you're off, if you want to go,
Right.
baby, you can go. I
Right.
know it's not your cup of tea, it's not your type of comedy, but I'm gonna go. So he said, what, you're going through a phase? Oh, I've been, how back in the 90s when I wore the lip liner and the
Yeah.
blue eyeshadow, I've been putting just little things. I've been putting color on my
Yes.
lips. He
Yes.
said, what's on your mouth? I said, I'm figuring out the things that I like
Yes.
or don't like. Like, I'm going back to, why did I stop doing this?
Yes.
Or why
Yes.
have I never tried this? So I'm
Yes.
starting over basically. I feel like at this ripe age of 47, I'm
Yes.
starting over, and not just with that, but with my job. I've been at AT&T for 24 and a half years, and we started going through a lot of I felt like things were under attack,
Mm-hmm.
and I was being overwhelmed. We had some health scares within the family, some personal issues, and I said something has to give.
Yeah.
And I refused for it to be my husband or our two children.
Yes.
And it wasn't going to be me this time.
I know that's right. The sacrifice was Jesus, not me.
Yeah. And see, there have been times before in the past, and I give credit to AT&T because they have been amazing. They've allowed me to do so much and provide and bless other people. But I was like, I have to go. And
Yes.
Fari gave me that space to say, okay, you you want to take off? I didn't have a plan
Yes.
initially.
Mm-hmm.
He said, take off. And I'm like, can we afford it? He said, we'll figure it out. You may have to stop your Amazon ordering.
Jesus.
And I was like, well, I don't know about that one. But baby, about having a ram in the bush,
Yes.
just talking and letting somebody else know that and sharing what I was going through. Because I got to the point at work where I'm missing deadlines on purpose, like just not caring. 24 and a half years, you wouldn't have got 24 and a half years by missing deadlines, by just like, but it was sort of like when I said my house was filling up and you looking at stuff and knowing that it needs to be done, but you just can't do it.
It's too much.
And you are expressing to your leadership or whatever that you need help. And then when you're finding moments where you drive up, I was coming to work so early to miss traffic because of anxiety, having anxiety attacks, then
Yeah.
pulling up in the parking lot and just breaking down and
Wow.
have to have a whole nother praise and worship session, then to
Just
walk the
in
two
the
or
door.
three blocks.
Walk in the door.
Yeah, to just to come. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I was like, something has to give. So God gave me that space. Fari gave me that space, and then I was blessed with another opportunity to not to work to work for another amazing company. Didn't even take a cut in my pay.
Look at God. Won't he do it?
A,
Won't
a
he?
little extra, and
Won't he will?
and I
Won't
go
he?
in.
Tell me what
Uh,
God will do.
I go in twice a month. I drive into my office twice a month, and the requirement is really only one.
Wow.
Even if they change that, and I drive further than I would have driven for AT&T, I still think I'm okay with that because the environment they have is very inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
They are very intentional about letting you know where they stand, even with um, like with the world changing the with the our
Current
president changing
administration. What
DE and I and stuff.
you say?
They our CEO hijacked a couple several individual meetings to say, hey, I came in y'all meeting to say that DE and I is a label. That should be what we're doing every day. We're gonna change ours to DE, diversity, inclusion, and belonging.
Oh, come
But
on.
even if they pass a rule that says they don't want any of that, we're not changing who we are because it's not about a department. It's not about being able to say, I have this quota. It's
That's right.
about being what's right. So even if they were to turn around and say, you got to go into the office every day, I am perfectly fine where I am. I am happy. That was part of that starting over and taking that chance and stepping out. And then the last thing would be in this process of learning stuff about myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I was dimming my light at times to not offend anyone,
Mm.
to not um, make anyone feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
then I'm left feeling
Uh,
uncomfortable. I'm
yes.
left feeling like I should have done such and such.
Yes.
I'm not doing that anymore.
Very good, baby.
I'm going to live and what my living bold may be boring to some other people. Some people may be like, well, I thought she was going to do it. I will be intentional and
Yes.
authentically me. I
Yeah.
won't say yes to stuff if I don't want to do it.
That's right.
I will I'm tapping into more things that I like. I bought some sewing patterns. I've never sewed. And my mom loved to sew. I just
Yeah.
ordered some patterns that I'm
Wow.
gonna try to do on my own. I don't want to get, you know, 40, 50 more years down the line and have this whole list of shoulda, woulda, couldas that I
Yes.
have right now at 47. I'm
Yes.
gonna try some new things,
Yes.
and if I don't like them, if they don't work, they don't. So I'm not going to dim my light anymore.
Mm,
Uh, and then in the midst of all that, if I have to start that over again too, and come go another path to figure out who I am,
yeah. So be it.
so be it, right? So
Mm,
it's been a blessing. It
yeah.
was it was hard to get here. It shouldn't have taken 7 years. I mean 47 years to come to these boundaries. It shouldn't have taken 7 years to understand that I should be first, or 7 years. I mean 47 years to understand that I should only be given from my overflow. That
Yes.
anything that's not overflowing is not for anybody to have. What's in my cup is all for me. I didn't understand that before, but at 47, I get it now. So I would just encourage people to take time to love yourself first. If you make it a point to love yourself,
Yes.
all this stuff comes naturally. The boundaries,
Yes.
recognizing your overflow, recognizing your whether you're introvert or extrovert, just loving yourself and getting to know
Yes.
yourself. You won't wait till you get to our good ripe age, child, and be trying to figure it all out. Because, and it's sad that you lose some people along the way, but it's okay. I
That's right.
pray that I can have some conversations with some of those people. And then I think also with some of those people, I think it's just a matter of a conversation, because when those in those moments when I couldn't communicate or didn't know how,
Yeah.
um, that may have been offensive, because even when I was in that space, and probably even before, I wouldn't have done a podcast, because
I
I
know.
never liked being on
And
camera.
right.
Yeah, I never liked being in the spotlight. If you ask me to do some stuff in the background, I do it. But
Yeah.
so this has been a blessing for me today. So thank you for inviting me. Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing, uh, taking me down memory lane, and reminding me of this connection and this sisterhood that we have.
Yes.
I thank God for you. Um, you are a force to be reckoned with, and I'm really excited about what you have in store. I'm proud of you.
Thank you,
I'm
honey.
very, very proud of you, and I love you so much.
Now, dang it. I said I almost made it through the show. Dang
Well, you done messed
it.
me up. I got to go get my face together before I leave, child. So,
You and my mama. So not crying today.
but it was. I'm
Uh,
glad for this. I didn't even have to think twice about this.
thank you.
So this has been a blessing. Thank you. I love you.
I love you more, honey. I love you more.
Yeah.
Family, baby. I'm telling y'all, I told y'all I know amazing people, honey. I know amazing women. I told y'all, baby. I told y'all, I said, you know what? Why am I talking about, or even going to, I mean, I could and I will, in the future. But for Women's History Month, why I talk about women that I don't know? I have amazing women that
All
have
around her.
inspiring journeys, that have
Mm-hmm.
empowering journeys, just all
Mm-hmm.
around me.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful and I'm so blessed. And when
Yes.
I say, we talked a little bit earlier, and I'm wrapping up. And when I say we talked a little bit earlier about me spiraling into the depression and into the anxiety, when I first moved back to Texas 10 years ago, Big Mama and my stepfather passed that year.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
feel like I morphed into a person that I didn't know. When you talk
Mm-hmm.
about, is the light bill paid? I would come home and the lights would be off because I was
Mm.
in such darkness. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I would call Pooh, like, Pooh. It was so bad that Pooh would have my information saved
Saved. Yeah.
in
Yeah.
her computer because I didn't know what the password was. I was in such darkness.
But that's all
And
right.
it is something to have those people in your life again that are not going to judge you,
Mm-hmm.
that are going to love on you, that are going to be that support that you need. But what happened was when you went into your period and your
Mm-hmm.
darkness, and you wasn't able to help me anymore in that
Right. Right.
space, it lended. God was transitioning me to
Mm-hmm.
who are
To
you?
this
Because I had
space.
become
Mm-hmm.
somebody I didn't know who I was. I was in this
Right.
complacency. It was this 270 pounds. It was all of the things.
Right.
Who
Right.
is this girl? And coming
Mm-hmm.
to, fasting and praying and get to know me again. And so as you were coming to a space, I was coming into a space as well
Mm-hmm.
of I don't
Mm-hmm.
need you in that role anymore.
Right. 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 Yeah. I
And
totally agree.
the other part of it was I could remember just being almost like, wait, I need, because sometimes you feel like I need this, I need that, and I'm like, you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're okay.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
You can stand up. You're not in
That's
the
right.
deep water anymore. You can stand
Mm-hmm.
up. And I'm
Right.
so grateful, like the Lord placed Fari for that. You have a husband.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know what I
telling
mean?
you, I tell them all the time, baby, if we parted today, I know that you at least was in my life
For
for
that
that.
time and season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
But I
so
ain't letting them go, girl.
look, they're not.
No, I'm about. Hey, one of those dates is what we're about to do. I'm about to
I
go
know.
meet him
I know.
at the movies for our date Saturday or date morning to have a movie and brunch. So
I love it. I love it, honey. Well, thank you so much. I love you. Thank you. Thank you again for coming on. Thank you for being my person.
anytime.
Thank you for just always, inspiring me. Thank you for
Thank you for
loving me and
inspiring me.
allowing me to be my true, authentic self. you know,
I don't think you would have allowed it any other way. Oh, you're gonna love me. Yeah, yeah. Oh, you're gonna love me or hate me, you know. But no, no, all those the same feelings are here. I have the same feeling. So it's been a journey. I thank God for you being in my life and being a constant. Um, it's beautiful.
I know. Look, I'm in the background. I'm like, hey, I'm still here. Look, I'm still here. I'm
I
still here.
couldn't chase you away if I tried. I don't think.
Baby.
No.
Wow. I love you. Look, don't keep that man
I love
waiting.
you too.
Go on, girl.
Girl, you know he'll be calling here in a little bit. That's all right. Oh, all right. No, but thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate this opportunity. This has
Yes.
truly blessed me today. I'm looking forward to what else you have in store though.
Thank
And I know it's great. And I will definitely be tuning in to look at every single episode and every woman that you
you.
highlight because just women were natural superheroes. Just like
Yes.
I'm on my way to see Captain Marvel. We're natural superheroes.
Yes.
Um, we just all of us don't have capes and costumes. We're
Yes.
just out here conquering and doing this life stuff
Yes.
um, without no acknowledgement or praise, and that's not why we do it. But to know that you're using this space to do that is and give that honor and give those flowers. It's beautiful. So thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, honey.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you. All
you.
right, baby.
All right. See you, boo.
Mwah. Love you.
I love you too. Well, family, yeah, I have met my family. that was my sister cousin Pooh, honey. My sister cousin Pooh. When I think of, just my life and my journey and who I am and how I show up in the world, um, it's amazing. It's amazing how God, connects and puts us together and intertwines and what he's given us that we don't even know that we need. Right. uh, but I'm so full right now. I'm so full. I don't even have the words. I feel like I need to get myself together, but I'm not, because I want this. I want you to experience this. If you don't have this, I want you to seek it. But and if you do have it, I want you to cherish it. Right. Me and Pooh had not spoken in a long time. But understanding that there are people and there are friends in your life, and we don't have to talk every day, right? And we don't have to see each other like we used to, right? Life is life and everybody is doing their own things, but being intentional about taking the time to give people their flowers, while they're still here on this side of heaven, is the journey and the purpose. And I hope that you are inspired and are inspired to do that. I hope that something was said today that empowered your journey. That if you are not living out loud, if you're not living in your true authentic self, who are you? Right? Who have you conformed to be? Are you being your true authentic self? What do you really like to do? Are the things that you're doing at this period of point in time, is it stuff that you really want to do? Do you feel trapped in your job or in the things that you're doing in your life and you want to do something else? Yes, boo. Lessons and blessings is that you still have time, right? That's the blessing, is that you still have time. I know that you feel trapped. I know you might not know how you're going to do it and have all of the things, but the faith, babe. If you are here, if you're watching this, then understand and know God is not a just because God. Yes. Yes, this is a divine intervention in your life. This is a divine intervention in your life. Mm-hmm. Yes. And so, yeah, giving you permission, write your list. What are you doing? Are you going to start again? Are you going to start over? What you going to do? I'm going to tell y'all this story and I'm going to let you go. Listen, I was on the phone talking to a woman just last week, actually. She was 70 years old. Her husband, um, of I don't even know, umpteen years, was threatening to kill her. We were on the phone. She called about something, and we talked about what she called about. And then she started whispering toward the end. We were like wrapping up the call, and she started whispering, and she said, "Can you still hear me?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "I don't want to wake him up. I don't want him to be mad at me." And she went on to say that her husband was threatening to kill her and had threatened to kill her multiple times and had told her that he was going to make her life a living hell as long as they were together, as long as she was living, to the day that she dies, is how she said it. And I said, "Oh my goodness." I said, "Ma'am, are you safe? Are you, go through all of the things, right? You go through the checks." And, she was saying, "But I'm 70 years old and I don't want to start over. What about my house?" I don't know who this is for. I don't know who this is for, but I know that God is not a just because God. You can start over, honey. God did not put us here to suffer. Those four walls that you are in, if you have to shift, if you have to, and Pooh talked about, the things in the marriage and how to make it work. That's not this. When you are in a situation where you're not safe, where your mental health is being affected, right? Where you don't have a husband that is loving you, that is pouring into you, that is supporting you, that is leading as a husband should, as Pooh's husband is doing with her. You have that, or you on the other end of the spectrum, or it's just your boyfriend, or your boo, or a situationship, or whatever it is you want to call it. "988 is the mental health awareness line. 988 is the mental health awareness line, and 211 is also available. It is, both of them are available as a resource, no matter what city or what state that you're in, and they will help you and give you resources to help you get out of any and every situation, whether it's in your mind or your body, your spirit, your emotions. What you need between those two resources, you will be able to get. It is Women's History Month. Women's History Month. Join me tomorrow, and I will be back with another amazing woman, another journey to inform, to inspire, to empower you. We are more resilient. You are more resilient than you give yourself credit for. Mm-hmm. You are a conqueror, baby. Yes, you are. You are a survivor. It's been done. It's been done before. You're not the only one, right? You're not the only one. Okay. Join me tomorrow, family. You know how your girl do. I aspire to inspire until I expire. That's what I'm doing. Being obedient to the spirit. I don't know who that's for, why all that came out, but honey, that's what it was. And I'm empty now. Y'all join me tomorrow for another beautiful spirit that has been a force in my life. See you tomorrow.